This is an important video if you value understanding exactly what's in your PepperBall. You need to know on a weight basis exactly what is there. Sometimes the percentage can be very misleading. Watch this one all the way to the end, folks. All right, folks. PepperBalls, and more PepperBalls. 2% PAVA, 5% PAVA, 15% PAVA, as well as CS. This is the one that I'm the most afraid of. This is one that I have actually sampled before. This is a PepperBall 2% PAVA round. This one you can see has the gray, half red. This is the 5% LIVE-X. This is the Grimburg Fireball, and that one is going to be the highest potency one that you're going to find. I'm going to use every precaution I can. I've got these in sealed tubes. I'm going to break them outside, but I'm going to try to keep that from going everywhere. I'm going to try to do that as carefully as possible and try not to get exposed until I'm ready. And then I want to let the air clear, and I will take off the gloves at that point, and I'm going to essentially do a taste test, and I'm going to see. Now, the idea is that at arm's length, it's going to waft and it's going to come out. I'm going to shake it up and I'm going to let it waft, and I'm going to sample what is in the air. And it's essentially a limiting dilution experiment, because as the powder goes out and disperses, you're going to catch the limiting edge of it. So the point being that it might be partially tolerable here. It might get worse, This one may hit so hard that I don't know what's going to happen. So keep watching. We're going to go through them one by one. The finale is going to be this one, if I'm still standing at that point. And I just want to see, I don't want to achieve, my goal is not to achieve or feel the full exposure of a PepperBall that you would feel if it broke on you, but I want to get it's not quantitative, but at best a measure of the relative amount of PAVA that's here. After this is done, I'm going to take these tubes and I'm going to add some isopropanol in there, and we're going to do a colorimetric test to see if that also correlates with what I observe in terms of my physiological response. So let's give it a try. We're going to go outside, take a look. It's got a hole in it. Oh. Start to smell that one. Ooh. Okay. Oh. So that was this one. Wow, that's broken in there. That's a lot of powder. So already 2%. I didn't smell much initially. I really did not have too much of a reaction to that at the limiting dilution. The 5%, after a few seconds, it's starting to affect me right now. So again, I'm doing it at limiting dilution. If this was all over me, that powder right there all over me, I would say that's enough. I'm incapacitated. Now I'm afraid to do this one. What do you say? Should I do it?
Not sure. All right, folks. This one may knock me out. Seems to be a harder shell, which is good. I have not broke it yet. It's partially broken. Okay. It's broken. So far, so good. Gosh. That one makes me sneeze. That one makes me sneeze more than cough. Okay, so they're all three broken. So okay. All right, I'm gonna take off the gloves. Or maybe I should keep on the gloves, but let's let the wind clear the air for a minute. Then I'm gonna open them one by one and maybe waft it around and just see what I see. Now, there is something called saturation of your nasal. So it reaches a plateau and maxes out. So that can happen. Not so bad. Okay, came in to get away for a few minutes. The biggest effect that I'm having is the sneezing. So I'm gonna go and mix them up a little bit and to see if I can get a little bit of another taste. I took off my gloves. I don't want to contaminate my phone, or I don't want to bring anything inside. So the limiting effect that I'm getting is really a sort of a limiting effect. It's more making my nose want to run. It's making me want to sneeze. It's not burning my eyes yet. I can tell you is that the one that's affecting me the most is actually the PepperBall 5% PAVA. That one is hitting me really hard. The 2% is, I'm just getting a waft of it. It's not so bad, but that 5%, I could tell that is really potent. I'm so very surprised. I'm a little bit disappointed, but the 15%, the Grimburg ball, when I smell it, I haven't gotten a real effect from it yet. It's like the 2% and the 5%, I could feel there's a graded effect there. That the Grimburg round is not affecting me in the same way. Maybe it's not as aerosolized. Maybe it's not getting up out of that tube. It's definitely heavier. It's weighted down by the metal, the iron that's in there. I showed you the iron. You can see the color. So it's weighted down. That might be part of it, but it also that definitely would affect the aerosolization of it as well. So when you shoot it, it's not as those PepperBall ones are very much aerosolized. I mean, they are very fine particulates. They get up into my nose very effectively. The Grimburg round does not do that so far in what I've been doing. Now what I want to do is I'm going to add some isopropanol to each one, same amount, and we're going to then do a test and see if I can see a color difference between them. I'll need to make some adjustments to get the volumes the same. Look at that. That's the iron.
All right, what can we say about this? Well, I've let this dry. It's mostly dry now. The yellowish color is going to be the capsaicinoids, and they're going to have just a light tint yellowish color on here. You can see areas where there are no capsaicinoids, like on the outer edge here, where the isopropanol sort of went away from any of the dissolved solids. This is the 2%. It's fairly diffuse, 5%. I actually see quite a bit of more concentrated area right in here, and a little bit more diffuse up in here, similar to here. But there's a significant concentration right in here. Over here, obviously, you have the lead from the Grimburg Fireball. You got a lot of that there. You definitely have some capsaicin in there. You see the yellowish all around. Now, I guess you could argue that some of that is underneath the lead, and that's why you're not seeing it. But we got a big area out here where the isopropanol, went away, and there was no powder. And then we see some capsaicinoids in here and here. But in general, I have to tell you that this does seem to correlate with my smell and the burning sensation in my nose and clearing out my sinuses. This was noticeable. This one was extremely uncomfortable. That difference was very noticeable. But then when I came over here, this one felt weaker than the 2%. Now, I'm just telling exactly what I felt and what I'm seeing here. I have no skin in this game. I want everyone's PepperBalls to be good, but the reality is this is 15% capsaicin. It did not feel like 15% capsaicin on a scale like this. I would have expected whatever this effect, the difference here I felt it. I would have expected to feel that same level of effect when I went from here to here, and I did not. The last thing I did was I take the supernatant and just dropped some supernatant, just like I did on the white piece of paper, but I took a little bit of that supernatant, the same amount, and dropped it onto a piece of black background. So on the white background, it's harder to see, but now on the black background, it's a lot easier to see. And let's put these like right here side by side so you can really see the story. And the bottom line is this correlates exactly with my physiological response. This is a 2% PAVA. You can see the whitish color here on the black background on these spots that were blotted. 5% PAVA, now you see there's quite a bit of white here. This is clearly the highest concentration of PAVA that I'm getting. And then on this one, again, it's lighter than the 2% from what I'm seeing. So for whatever reason, and I'm not saying what percentages these are, this is what the factory says that they are. All I'm saying is that between a 2% and a 5%, yeah, that passes the eyeball test. That looks like it could be an increase of about that proportion. But going between 5 and 15, I would have expected this to have been 3 times more. And in fact, it was actually on a different scale. So this is what it is. This is an N of 1 ball each, so it doesn't tell you anything about the batches of the balls and the ball-to-ball variability. This one has the metal, everything that you would expect. It was heavier when I weighed it in the previous video, as well as the fact that the shell was really hard to break here. These plastic shells break very easily. They're designed for breaking at lower amounts of energy. This one's going to take quite a hard hit in order to break, and it's really going to need to hit something hard and heavy with a lot of joules in order to break it. And then you've got this heavy iron weighing down the powder. And in my test here, I wasn't able to get that into my nose, into my face. I was not able to feel the effects. And then even after solubilization in isopropanol for a good half hour, I took the supernatant out and I did this test, and this is what I get. So I don't think those results could be any more consistent with what I see. And I'm just putting this out there for everybody to see. And let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this? I do have a lot of confidence in the PepperBall LIVE-X brand. The police, military use this. It's very well characterized. There have been literally thousands and thousands and thousands of these rounds used. And honestly, at this point, I'm much more likely to use these in the future. So weak extract will just go down, but the capsaicin extract, which is oil soluble, is going to really fight against this detergent. You can see that it's kind of created an area there. Now you're going to get more of an aggressive reaction the more capsaicin that's present. So let's go to this one, and we'll put it in a different spot right over here. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, well, it is a little bit bigger spot, and let's try the final one, which is supposed to be the largest amount. Okay, again. So again, looks like the results are sort of similar. This one was the 2% PAVA. This was the 5% PAVA. You can see it's still really fighting away those bubbles. This one, the hole still hasn't closed yet. This one was pretty modest. There hasn't been really a big clearing of those bubbles. And so again, the amount of capsaicin present, even in a simple assay like this on the soap, as a measurement, again, we're seeing the same pattern where, again, the 5% PAVA from the LIVE-X clearly is the outlier in terms of having more PAVA in this assay as well. This is the ratio. As you can see, the majority of what is in the Grimburg Fireball is iron. You see the layer on top, which is white? That is the active component. That is the component that is 15% PAVA. But keep in mind that is a tiny fraction of the total powder that is in that projectile. So the absolute amount of PAVA that you're getting from one of these is very low. It's lower than, if you do the math and you look at the ratio. Let's compare this to a LIVE-X PepperBall. So in the LIVE-X here, though, you have talcum powder as your filler. Talcum powder is very light, it's very easy to disperse, and that's why these aerosolize so much better. They're not weighed down by all that iron. But you also, because it's light, as a percentage based on weight, you're getting more of the active ingredient with 5% PAVA in this formulation than you are in a heavy weighted ball that has a lot of filler that's just iron. Now the iron serves a kinetic purpose, but it is counterproductive to the chemical effect.